Alright, what's up guys? So the point of this video is going to be to demonstrate the latest bug with the Dayz standalone after the .45 patch concerning weapon sway. Now I've been reading a lot of forums and everything like that, and from what I've been reading, I hear a lot of people say that it's not an actual bug and it's kind of what it kind of feels realistic, or they kind of feel like they like it or something like that. But then when I read these comments, I'm thinking to myself, we must not be playing the same game. Because this isn't even weapon sway. It's just straight up. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what you would call this. But anyway, just to hurry up and get this out of the way. Before the latest patch, when your guy was out of breath or anything like that, or if you had like a broken arm, there was going to be weapon sway, which is definitely realistic. I totally understand that. But if you see the dot on the screen right now, the aiming dot, when the weapon would sway, the dot would be the thing that was jumping around, and the gun would kind of follow it. So you would still be able to counter it if you were able to counter the the sway of the gun. But basically what I'm going to show you here is that the gun and the dot are not in sync. Once you're out of breath, this gun is going to be all over the place and the dot is not going to move. And wherever the gun is pointing, regardless of where the dot is on your screen, that is where the bullet's going to impact. I mean, obviously that kind of makes sense, but it's basically like impossible, and it's so much weapon sway that I just don't see. It definitely needs a fix, and I can't see this being something that the devs did intentionally. I think it's just something to do with the patch being bugged. So I'm just going to show you a quick thing here, aiming down the sights. Now my guy's been sitting here for quite some time. He's not out of breath whatsoever. I don't know how else to explain that, and I don't have a previous injury or anything like that. I already took a morphine injector. I had two, and I took one because if you're an experienced Dayz player, you'll know that even if your guy is fully healthy, if you withstand like a previous injury, maybe from a couple zombies beating on you, or you got shot and then you healed all the way up, mostly the snipers who use the long-range scopes and the ACOG scopes will notice this, that there would still be a little bit more weapon sway than there should be. So by taking a morphine injector or even using a splint, it would get rid of that sway. And I did that before I started recording, just to make sure that it wasn't that, and to prove that, whatever. So I've been standing here for quite some time now. My guy is not out of breath. Let's just take a look at the aiming. Now this is not me touching the mouse at all. This is the gun itself. The sight's basically jumping and bouncing around. It's very inconsistent, and that would be very hard to take a shot, and it's very hard to try to counteract it. This is me fighting it right now, and it's still pretty. I'm trying to aim at that little rust line there, and it's quite challenging to do. And that's not too close, but it's not too far at the same time. But it gets much worse. So what I'm going to do is I might cut it out, or I might just leave the whole part in here because the video is not going to be too long. But I'm just going to basically get my character out of breath. I'm going to run a good distance, and then I'm going to basically show you how impossible it is to aim when your guy's out of breath. Again, I do think there should be weapon sway when you're out of breath, but definitely not as much as what I'm about to show you. And at the same time, the aim dot has to be synced with where the barrel of the gun is moving. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to even counteract that, even for the best gunners on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to matter at this point. We got a zombie here. I'll try to, and I'll even show you by trying to kill this zombie how just ridiculous it is. But I'm gonna make sure this guy is good and out of breath here. Try to get some distance here. So the first shot was aimed at him. I mean, he was kind of right up in my face, so that'd be kind of hard to miss, but wait till this guy is... And also I noticed with the new patch that you run a lot faster with your gun out, which is a plus, but it also feels like the more tired you get, the slower he moves, which is... I like that. I don't mind that at all, but the aiming is what's really bad. Alright, so my guy is pretty good and out of breath. I'm going to show you now just how bad it is. I'm going to show you in third person as well, because it's very noticeable from third person. It's just the same. It gets worse in first than when you're aiming down the sights. So you can see, look at the gun. That's not me. You see the dot on the screen? It's staying the same. As you can see, the gun is bullets all over the place, and the gun is going to shoot wherever, the bullet's going to land wherever the barrel is pointing. See where the dot is. I mean, it's just, I mean, if you were to run into a place and you were to see a guy, I mean, you'd be fucked. And I will show you a tip. If you sidestep, you see that that's the gun right there moving all funky. If you sidestep, it helps it a little bit. For the most part, it's pretty bad. You can see the scope, you know what I mean, is all over the place. And if I would have, when I first stopped, if I were to show you the scope, I mean, it would have been all over everywhere. And this wasn't me touching the mouse, by the way. But as you can see, it's definitely an issue. It's not what I think the devs wanted it to be. Again, I don't mind scope sway or weapon sway at all. I just think that all in all, if the gun's gonna have sway, it should be synced with the dot. It shouldn't be like all over the place like it is, but it should be synced with the dot. I wouldn't mind even if it was like this bad, because then I would be able to counter that. But if the barrel isn't synced with the dot, then there's no way to counter that, I guess. And it just gets pretty bad. And definitely needs to fix this. Hopefully they will fix this with the next server maintenance. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Like I said, I was reading on the forums, and a lot of people didn't seem to think that this was a problem. But hopefully, by watching this video, you'll see exactly what I mean by the gun not being synced up where it should be with your point of aim. Because when the weapon sway is supposed to be, or how it's supposed to be, is if the gun is swaying, the dot's just supposed to go with it. It's supposed to change your whole point of aim, your whole point of view from where your guy's actually looking, as well as where the gun and the dot is going, and it's just not doing that. So hopefully they fix that, and it'll be a much more enjoyable experience. So peace out.